कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। Dasharatha Chakravarti, right from the beginning, if we have very carefully noticed in Srimad Ramayanam, he has been very, very careful about Sri Rama. You may ask, sir, what is so surprising that a father wants to take good care of his son? That is not the worry. But Dasharatha Chakravarti is a Kshatriya. The Kshatra Gunam indicates the ability to fight, the valor with which you volunteer to fight. That is the guna of a Kshatriya. Initially, if you remember, when Vishwamitra sought Dasharatha's intervention by sending the eldest of his sons Rama to the forest to protect his sacrifice, Dasharatha swooned. He was reluctant to send his son. Was he not aware that Rama was extremely powerful, valorous? No, the father was very well aware that Rama was one of the best Kshatriya war princes that he could see around. But what troubled him? The answer to this situation, to this question, and similar such situations is seen in Ayodhya Kandam. When Rama, Sita and Lakshmana have gone into the woods on an exile for 14 years, and Sumantra comes and informs Dasharatha that Rama has left to the forest. That is when Dasharatha starts narrating an incident of the past that has been troubling him for many, many years. And this incident has occurred supposedly during Dasharatha's early years, younger days, when he was probably not even married. That is the incident of Shravana Kumara, when Shravana's parents, that is Shravana's father, curses Dasharatha that he too, which means Dasharatha too, should die out of Putra Shokam, when there is a separation from the son, just like how the person who was uttering the curse was dying from, because the cause for that agony was Dasharatha himself. So the father says, Tvamapyeta drisho bhavaha kshiprameva gamishyati jivitanta karo ghoro dataramiva dakshinam. So this particular incident has occurred and Dasharatha has narrated that to Kaushalya and Sumitra. Then finally he says, I have narrated what has troubled me, Kaushalya, for all these years. I slowly see that my eyes are failing me, so is my nose, so is my ears. Initially, you remember, his eyes were walking behind Rama. So the Jnanendriyam was doing the job of a Karmendriyam. But there were certain senses that were dysfunctional, like the nose. So all that was mentioned earlier. But now he says, all my senses are failing. Which means it is time for the Jivatma to depart. Because Shastram tells that in a natural process of dying where the Jivatma has to leave the material body, the 5 Jnanendriyas will start dysfunctioning and slowly start operating less. The eyes that were seeing cannot see that well. The ears that could hear well cannot hear that well. The tongue that could clearly distinguish different forms of taste cannot do so. So similarly are the other Jnanendriyas. Finally, the manas has to come together, and this process where the Jivatma is churned out of the body because it has to be taken out of the body. It is called a Tristhola Kshobanam in Vedanta. Here Dasharatha says, Chittanashad vipadyante sarvanya evandriyanihi Kshina snehasya deepasya samrakta rashmayo yatha. Know that all my senses are failing and it is an indication for the Jivatma to depart from the body. He says, alongside he says, Kshina snehasya deepasya. What is sneham? This word is many times used in Kishkinda Kandam, then it later comes in Yuddha Kandam too. Sneham. What is so special about Sneham, sir? Many women call themselves Sneha. What is so special about Sneham? Today, in our context, we understand that Sneham is love. But incidentally, the Shabdakosham, the dictionary in Sanskritam guides us and says, Sneham is something which is greasy in nature. Anything which is greasy is Sneham. Love is also greasy in nature because you find the attachment to the other person. So that can also be called Sneham. But Sneha generally means that which is greasy, which is ghee. In our case, when you light a lamp, if I say I am lighting a lamp, please get me Sneham. You should not say I have love towards you. You should go get ghee. So that Sneham is used to light lamps. Here he says, Kshina snehasya deepasya. So when we are using ghee for lighting a lamp, imagine all the ghee in the lamp has been used. There is wick, there is fire, but the ghee has gotten empty. So when there is no fuel, when there is no ghee, the lamp will not continue burning. But before it extinguishes, before the fire gets extinguished, the last few seconds will be extremely bright. So to a lamp whose fire is going to get extinguished, the last few seconds will be bright. Hey Kaushalya, hey Sumitra, my senses are failing me. My Jivatma is going to depart from this material body very soon. But you may be wondering, Dasharatha, you are talking so sensibly, you are talking so clearly. It is similar to the last few seconds of a lamp whose ghee is empty and whose fire is going to get extinguished. The last few seconds will be bright. So is my case. Kshina snehasya deepasya samrakta rashmayo yatha. And as the Jivatma was departing, he took the names of Kaushalya, Kaikeyi. So he says, Ha Kausalyena pashyami, Ha Sumitre tapasvini, Ha Nrishamse mama mitre, Kaikeyi kulapamsini. Hey Kaushalya, the mother to Rama, I am going to depart in a few seconds from now. Ha Sumitre, O mother to the pious Lakshmana and the fervent Shatrughna, hey Sumitra, I am going to depart in a few minutes from now. Ha Nrishamse mama mitre, Kaikeyi kulapamsini. Please note that I am uttering the name of that lady who has been the cause of the calamity of my family. Kaikeyi. Hey Kaikeyi kulapamsini. Dasharatha's Jivatma, the king who had produced 4 valorous sons, the king who once stood with the Devas and fought Shambharasura, extremely valorous, powerful monarch of the largest of the provinces of the Ikshvaku Kulam, was dying, and not one son was by the side of him. Rama and Lakshmana were in the forest. Bharata and Shatrughna were still in Kekeya Desham. The king did not have one of his children while he was dying. You may be wondering, sir, it looks like one of the situations of Kali Yuga. Well, even if yugas change, the intensity of the criminal acts, the number of people who perform crimes may vary, but the nature of the crime will remain through all the yugas. It is not that Krita Yuga was bereft of crime and Kali Yuga is filled with crime. In Krita Yuga, if there were 10 crimes of one genre, we may have 100 crimes of the same genre in Kali Yuga. The numbers may increase. So there was not one son by the side of Dasharatha. So what do they do with the body? The Jivatma has left. What do they do with the Pancha Bhautika Shariram? It has to be cremated. The final rites have to be performed. Who will perform? The son. Where are the sons? 2 in the forest, 2 in Kekeya Desha. So one of the sons has to return to perform the final rites. So what will they do till then? That is when Dasharatha's body was stored in oil with herbal concoction. Many herbs were put into a trough with oil and the body was preserved, conserved. Because till the person comes, whoever is a son, the body has to be preserved. So this process of embalming, in the Egyptian civilization they call it mummification, they do it in a different way to preserve the body. Here the body was not preserved of the opinion that it will go to heaven. That was the notion in Egyptian civilization. Indian civilization was a lot advanced in its thought process. But somebody has to perform the final rites. Till then, the body should not rot, so it was put into oil. See, a lot of the ideas in our Vedic civilization, you will be wondering, comes from our kitchen. If you remember the days of your grandmothers, your mothers, I'm sure a lot of the elderly people will also be watching this. The younger folks should look up to their elderly folks to understand how they used to make pickles. Mango pickle. It is called avakkai or avakkaya. There is a lemon pickle. There is a pickle made out of amla, gooseberry. So, variety of pickles are done across the length and breadth of the country. We are a spices based country. We love any food that is spicy. But if we have to have pickles, we cannot keep preparing pickles every day. So, pickles are stored in large jars for over a year. And after they make the pickle, they will put so much of oil in it because oil is also one of the well-known traditional preservatives. Like how sugar is for sweets, like how salt is for many of the pickles, oil is also very important. So, a lot of the idea, pickle preservation, conservation has oil. So, the body was also preserved using oil, but of course with herbs. Tailadromyam tadamatyaha samveshya jagatipatim. Jagatipatim, he once ruled the earth. But what was his body now? That body which ruled the earth once, where is its situation? It is in an oil container being preserved in the oils, waiting for one of the 4 sons to arrive so that the final rites can be performed. Rama and Lakshmana cannot be called because Dasharatha only pronounced the judgment that Rama has to go to the forest. So Rama will not come. If Rama is not coming, Lakshmana will not come. The only option left to the current ministers and advisors headed by Vasishtha was to summon Bharata to Ayodhya immediately because there was no king and the last king, Dasharatha's body had to be cremated. So the message had to be sent to Bharata. For Bharata it would have been a shock because the brother has gone to the forest, the father is dead. But how will the messenger convey? Messenger, the Duta, has to convey the message. What was the message? How did the messenger go? Next episode. Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.